Today we're talking with Dusty Pierpoint, Republican candidate for state representative in the 22nd District, position number 2. Welcome to the program, Dusty.
Thank you for having me.
So Dusty, we're going to get right to it. Why are you running for office?
Opportunity came up. I retired after over 30 years in law enforcement, and a position came open, and I still have a passion and energy for public service, and I just thought this might be the best way for me to do that.
So you mentioned your retirement from law enforcement. Can you explain what other work experience or personal experience you have that would make you a good fit for state representative?
I think working around law enforcement and city government and working with other local governments, it's given me a pretty good view of how things work, what this area needs, the Tri-City area, and what the state can do to maybe help out.
Two really big hot topics for any politician, local, state, or national, are abortion and gun rights. Can you share your stand on both those issues?
Sure. Having a wife and an adult daughter, I believe they should have the choice, make their own choices. As far as the Second Amendment, I completely support the Second Amendment and people's right to bear arms.
I want to get into some state-related problems that have been going on recently, including the mismanagement of the Employment Security Department, with some estimates say $1 billion having been stolen or taken from Washington State. Can you share some of your thoughts on what's happening with Washington State agencies, and maybe as a state representative, what kind of government accountability you would bring to the office?
I've heard some of the same reporting. I don't have details or facts about the amount, but I heard on the news today that some of the checks were being sent out of state. And it's really sad. My wife owns a small business. She's a part owner of a small business, and the employees, even starting back at the beginning of this pandemic, we're having a very difficult time with public service from the ESD, and I know they were overwhelmed, but when the governor is telling people you're going to get a check and then people are getting rejection letters instead, you know, it's very concerning to people, and I think there's some streamlining that could be done. Another thing that's happened is since this fraud, employees are now not getting their check because of the fraud. And so they've been penalized on both ends of this situation, and it's very difficult to get hold of someone. You know, customer service is been very difficult, and you're pretty much directed to the website, and the website is not very helpful.
And related to that issue, the COVID-19 restrictions have created a lot of economic challenges across the state, including close to $7 billion in revenue loss. What would you do to help our state recover?
Well, we need to get businesses up and running again. We need to get people back to work. I think they're ready. Now, we need to do it safely, obviously. This is new to everybody. I completely understand, but just common sense practices to get people back in the workplace and make sure that if somebody wants a test, they can get a test and protect those that are, you know, that are in danger. My parents are high risk. And so I completely understand that we want to take care of those that are vulnerable. But on the same hand, I think common sense practices can be applied, maybe a little swifter to get the economy rolling.
Coronavirus has really dominated the news in the last few weeks, but homelessness is still a concern in our region and in our communities. And as a retired law enforcement officer, I'm sure you have worked with the homeless in many different circumstances. Can you share what your plan would be as a state representative to help decrease the number of homeless in our region?
Sure. I would like to start a pilot program designed after the therapeutic courts, and it partners holding people accountable with treatment. And people say, oh, you just want to arrest the homeless. And it's like, no, we want to rescue them from the situation they're in, because it is not going down. The homelessness problem is not being reduced, and we're spending millions of dollars. The therapeutic courts are a successful model, and I think we could have a pilot program in a community to see if it would work for homelessness. Get those people out of those tents get them into treatment for, if it's addiction, mental illness, if it's housing, whatever their situation may be, find them a job, get them treatment, and start reducing the problem. Drug court is a great example. Recidivism is incredibly low for graduates of drug court. I think we could have success with homeless as well, but we have to help them. We have to get them out of their situation and get them the help they need. And they're not going to do it on their own. That has been shown.
And could you share why people should vote for you, and maybe some information about how they could contact you if they'd like to help support your campaign?
Sure. I have a website, electdusty.com. Their email is dusty@electdusty.com. Feel free to email me questions or concerns. I am on Facebook. I don't have a political Facebook, but I have a personal Facebook page, and people have been contacting me on that. And I'll try to get back as quickly as I can. What I can say is I have a proven track record of public service of over 30 years. My father was a firefighter. I was a police officer. I think public service is something I grew up with and something that I've done. This is the community I live. It's a community I've raised my children. It's the community that my grandchildren live in. So I have a vested interest as much as anybody else in doing the right thing for the citizens of the 22nd District.
Thank you so much for this interview, Dusty.
Thank you.